Men go crazy when older women do these 4 things.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. After 60, what makes a man swoon is no longer the outward glow of youth. It's the quiet energy that radiates from a woman who knows her own worth. At this age, a steady gaze, an even manner of speaking, or a clear boundary, these can etch a man's heart with a memory he won't shake. In today's video, I'll share 4 things older women do that drive men wild. The small things that carry far more pull than any flirtatious line. If you've ever believed age steals your allure, watch this to the end. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so we can keep exploring the deeper philosophies of love after 60. Now, let's start with the first thing, the one that stirs a man's heart in the very first seconds.
When a woman in her later years speaks with calm confidence, it's more than delivering a message. It's letting a man feel a steady, safe current of energy. She doesn't have to raise her voice to prove anything. She doesn't have to strain for approval. At this age, attraction no longer comes from trying to impress, it comes from presence. An unwavering look, a direct sentence, a voice that isn't begging to be validated. This tells a man he's standing before a woman who is truly grounded. That composure is like a still lake, quiet, yet strangely magnetic. Men past 60 aren't chasing mind games anymore. They're drawn to a woman who lets them drop their guard, a woman who can say one simple thing and have it linger. When she says, "I don't care for the silent treatment," it isn't a scold. It's a gentle, decisive statement, a way of telling him she knows her value. This confidence isn't just attractive, it reaches the deepest places in a man's feelings. According to many psychological studies, when a woman speaks with ease and certainty, a man's brain associates it with trust and stability. 2 rare commodities in a world that feels louder and more frantic by the day. So no, composure is never weakness. It's a quiet kind of strength. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Nothing can bring you peace but yourself." At this age, a woman isn't chasing peace outside herself. She is the peace. And that's what sends men over the moon, not because they want to control it, but because they long to be near it. Take a deep breath and soften your shoulders. You don't have to prove a thing to be compelling. You only have to be yourself, steady and sure. And once we've touched that deeper layer of presence, let's move to something men respect just as much. A woman who keeps her own life. Number 2, keep your own life and let him step into it slowly. There's something men over 60 don't always say, but they feel it keenly. They're drawn to women who have a world of their own, rich enough, self-possessed enough, and not placing him at the center of the universe. When a woman keeps her own schedule, her own passions, her own rhythm, she sends a strong message. I value you, but my life doesn't revolve around you. This independence isn't distance, it's a very subtle magnetism. When a man senses that you maintain your personal life, even while in love or in a relationship, he doesn't feel swallowed up. Instead, he wants to step into that world, to be part of it rather than the one steering it. That's the difference between wanting to show up and feeling pressured to show up. After 60, men often want a gentle bond, nothing overbearing, where both people have freedom and respect. When you say, "I've got yoga tonight, let's meet another day," you're not turning him down, you're showing him you move to a clear rhythm, and that makes him respect you. Many studies on attraction suggest men grow more curious and more drawn to women with a firm life structure. That steadiness tells him you aren't looking for a crutch. You're inviting a companion on the journey. And when he senses you don't need him to survive, he wants to be closer still. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry wrote in The Little Prince, "Love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking outward together in the same direction." Love isn't locking eyes forever. It's facing the same horizon, each with a life of one's own, yet choosing to walk together. Take a deep breath, then let it out slowly. You don't have to orbit anyone to be lovable. It's precisely the rhythm.
Number 3, know how to flirt lightly without pressure. When a woman in her later years knows how to flirt lightly, it isn't a performance, it's the art of connection. At this age, flirting isn't about proving you're desirable, it's a gentle signal. I am here, and I'm enjoying this moment with you. Sometimes it's just a soft squint of the eye, a warm smile, or a brief, playful line, enough to let a man feel his heart being touched. Past 60, men aren't entertained by power plays or complicated seductions. What they crave is a mature, feminine energy, tender yet confident, refined but never false. When you flirt lightly, you're not trying to steer his emotions. You're simply allowing feeling to arise naturally. I've seen many women who hardly say a word, just a slow smile, a witty aside, or a gaze held for one extra beat, and a man remembers them for a long time. Because that isn't a trick, it's genuine feeling. Men after 60 are rarely bewitched by pressured beauty. They're captivated by ease held with confidence. Flirting isn't being sexy, it's inviting feeling. When you dare to smile, when you can meet his eyes without fear of being misunderstood, you're showing you're at home in yourself. And that comfort is the very glue that attracts. Audrey Hepburn once said, "Elegance is the only beauty that never fades. Refinement is the one beauty time can't erode. A woman can flirt with the grace that only years can teach, something youth doesn't automatically possess. So don't be afraid to flirt. Let a gentle joke or an unforced glance be the small wind that makes a man's heart tremble." Now it's your turn. When you're speaking with someone you like, what's the subtlest thing you do? Share it in the comments. I'd truly love to hear your story. And once that subtlety has sown the seed of feeling, let's go one layer deeper, to where a woman truly earns a man's respect, setting clear standards without apologizing for them.
Number 4. Set clear standards and don't apologize. At this age, a woman no longer has to please the whole world to be loved. She knows what she wants, what she deserves, and, most importantly, she no longer apologizes for it. This isn't icy rigidity.
It's a calm kind of backbone, the very thing mature men can't look away from. Past 60, men don't want half-defined relationships or chase games. They've learned that real value isn't in surface charm, but in how a woman stands firm in her own standards. When she names what she wants, evenly and without strain, she isn't trying to convince anyone, she's drawing a boundary. A statement like, "I'm not looking for something vague, I want a relationship with clear direction," may sound simple, but it lands hard in a man's mind. It tells him two things. She knows her worth, and she isn't afraid to lose him by telling the truth. That steadiness is exactly what makes her unforgettable. Here's the key. Setting standards isn't issuing commands. It's your way of telling the world, this is how I want to be loved and respected. The right man won't run from those lines. He'll raise himself to meet you where you are. Brené Brown writes in Daring Greatly, "Boundaries are not walls, they are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously." Boundaries aren't barricades, they're the space where both of us can be loved without either one disappearing. When a woman can say no to what isn't worthy, she opens the door to a man who is, one grown enough to respect and cherish her. Trust me, boundaries don't make you hard to love. Boundaries help you be loved the right way. And when a woman learns to stand steady inside herself, something remarkable happens. That's when inner magnetism becomes the reason a man can't forget her. A woman's true allure isn't in youth nor in chasing someone else's standard. It's in presence, in how you enter a room with quiet poise, knowing who you are and what you merit. At this age, when you stop playing by other people's rules and start living as yourself, you radiate an energy a man cannot forget. 4 things that seem simple: speaking with confidence, keeping your own life, flirting lightly, and setting clear boundaries are in fact the foundation stones of a very specific kind of allure. The allure of someone seasoned enough not to prove anything at all. This isn't a noisy charm. It's like the scent of incense, unshowy, yet unforgettable to anyone who has breathed it in. Eckhart Tolle says in The Power of Now, real love doesn't make you dependent. It brings a sense of completeness and freedom. Real love doesn't chain you. It makes you feel whole and free. And when you enter a relationship with that inner freedom, you become compelling in a different way, deep, unhurried, and quietly strong. Remember, age is never the barrier to attraction. Only losing yourself makes you fade. When you are yourself, confident, independent, refined, and boundaried, you become a woman a man remembers in any season of his life. If these reflections speak to you, don't forget to like and share this video so the message reaches more people, and subscribe to my channel so we can meet again on many more contemplative journeys. And I'm Vernon. Thank you for staying with me to the end. See you next time.